heavily armed Al-Qaeda-affiliated Al-Shabaab militants attacked the Westgate shopping center in Nairobi on September 21st, taking hostages and holding on to the mall for 3 days. Kenya's foreign minister says 2 or 3 young American men and 1 British woman were among the attackers who stormed the shopping mall. Some 60 people were killed in the terrorist attack. This Monday, Kenya's Interior Minister announced that security forces have regained control of the mall. Kenyan Foreign Minister Amina Mohamed said that this occurrence goes to underline the global nature of this fight. She also says the country needs the cooperation of other governments in the fight against terrorism and much more with the US and the UK because both the victims and perpetrators came from Kenya, the United Kingdom and the United States. James Saki, a spokeswoman for the U.S. State Department, however, rejected the claim that American nationals were involved in the attack, saying the State Department had no definitive evidence of the nationalities or the identities of the assailants. The militants, the majority of whom were reportedly from Somalia, said the raid was in retaliation of the presence of Kenyan troops in Somalia. Tehran's Municipality Culture and Arts Organization has held a ceremony celebrating former South African President Nelson Mandela at the capital's Arasban Cultural Center. The event was dubbed Commemoration Ceremony of Nelson Mandela, the Man of Peace and Freedom. Several ambassadors and ranking officials attended this special occasion. South Africa's ambassador in Iran, Ashi Whitehead, discussed how Mandela fought for democracy for the people of South Africa. One of Mandela's most important contributions to humanity was standing up against the apartheid. Nicaragua's ambassador in Iran, Mario Baquero, explained about Mandela's historical importance. Many dignitaries believe Mandela contributed his efforts to the peaceful resolution of disputes, the replacement of discord and division with unity, the promotion of dialogue rather than confrontation, and the elimination of poverty. The UN's resident coordinator in Tehran, Gary Lewis, talked about Mandela's unselfishness. Tunisia's ruling Ennahda movement has been accused by the labor union and the opposition of blocking the national dialogue between political parties despite the spread of anti-government protests that followed the assassination of a lawmaker last month. Ennahda has created by accusing the opposition of unjustifiably attacking the party, adding that it should be held responsible for the political deadlock in the country. Ennahda's executive bureau has warned against instability as some parties push for deepening and prolonging the crisis so as to abort the transition phase in Tunisia. The opposition claims that the government has not provided good conditions for holding free elections. Members of the Salvation Front have blamed authorities for the instability and the atmosphere of insecurity in the country. The Ennahda party leaders say they are surprised what they call incendiary statements made by some politicians and unionists over the past few days. Analysts believe the absence of dialogue between political parties will only worsen the crisis in Tunisia. The Muslim Brotherhood has condemned as corrupt and politically motivated an Egyptian court order banning all its activities. The group of Egypt's ousted President Mohamed Morsi said on Monday that it will always be present on the ground even after it is dissolved. Judicial sources reported on Monday that an administrative court in the Egyptian capital Cairo banned all activities of the Muslim Brotherhood as a non-governmental organization. The court ruling includes seizure of Brotherhood's funds, assets and headquarters. Many believe the ruling paves the way for the army to arrest more pro-Muslim Brotherhood protesters. A group of approximately 450 people from Afghanistan who are now living in Brussels city center building are refusing to leave the center for asylum seekers after all of their applications for refugee status and residency were turned down by the Belgian authorities. The Afghan families say that their request for asylum is fully legitimate, claiming that men who refuse to join the Taliban in Afghanistan face the risk of being killed. Some of the families claim that they paid gangs up to $30,000 in order to get safe passage out of Afghanistan and into the EU. Now they face a very uncertain future. It is currently impossible to know how this impasse will end. Belgian authorities are insisting that these people must go, while the people themselves are equally adamant that they won't leave.